What a pleasant surprise to see you, my blueberry pies. We're going to speak about macro today. Really important because we want to have a look at the crypto market outlook right now in the context of stonks. Yes, friends, stonk markets lead crypto. It's actually fascinating, right? So what I'm going to do is basically, friends, I look out into the field out here and I see, oh, well, that guy's kind of like on fire. That guy's kind of not. Are there like theories out there? One of the ones that's always interested me is blockchain backer. Now, why I love BCB is because he has to make it in crypto without on-chain stuff. You see us, friends, we're in actually the super hot flying altcoin edge. That's where we are using on-chain stuff, using DEXs. We're actually in these nitty gritty. We know stuff like PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex. We can see the whale wallets moving around. You know all these, okay? What BCB, though, does, he is focusing more on centralized exchange trading. He's buying like 2017 coins. He's looking at different like WankOff patterns. So I'm always curious, if someone's just looking at those, what type of theories and stuff do they observe? What do they have a look at? And they're able to kind of navigate their way pretty cool, pretty nice. You know why, friends? Because it's almost sudden death. It's like, well, I can't be caught here because my upside on these coins isn't like tremendously high. Whereas in crypto, friends, you know, I mean, like in our on-chain like real DeFi stuff, it is absolutely ballistic bonkers. If you're buying altcoins, leverage, cycle one narrative, cycle one coins, we get to buy stuff before the listings, okay? So one of the things he's basically shown is, what I love is, it's basically the expansion rally of the stock market. So effectively, friends, an expansion, okay? So to expand, it means all of the big US indexes are actually breaking their highs. Okay, breaking their highs. So you can go to YouTube, to TradingView, and you can see, oh, the S&P 500 is breaking the high, and then you can add the rest. I've just added now the Dow Jones in the orange. You can see that's breaking the high. I've now added the NASDAQ, which is in the blue. That's breaking the high. But now there's something going on here, friends. I've now added the Russel. Okay, so the Russel 2000, friends, it's like small cap. That is not breaking the high. You can see it now. What I'm going to do is just show you, okay, the Russel here, friends, we're actually going to look at another chart just so you can get a better picture. And you can see it right here, right? This is the Russel, and I'm going to put it on a weekly chart just so we can actually have a look. You see this, friends? Now, I know it doesn't look like much. Like, wait a minute, you're only like, it's 19% to break the high. It's basically the top. No. Stock market world. This is very important. This is like really important because you got trillions of dollars moving around, slashing on here. Okay, so the whole US index is lagging in the Russell 2000. It is still below the all-time high. It's still 15% below. So what BCB was able to show is, see, we have a distinct pattern here. You have the Dow Jones breaking the high, the Russell 2000, which is what we've seen right now. Okay, now, coincidentally, friends, this similar pattern, we were being lagged in 2019 by one index when Bitcoin went and broke up. Okay, and then it did the zombie virus right after. So you see back here, friends, this was Bitcoin doing 2019 rally. Well, what ends up happening is the S&P 500 did this complacency rally right here. You see this move? It goes, whoa, we're breaking the high. Then zombie virus came. Okay, so it's doing this. So this move it's doing right now, it's actually the same setup. You see this move right now? It's the same setup so far. The Russell has not broken a tie. Now, the Russell, friends, Russell 2000, it's a small caps. It does include stuff like Cathie Wood's ARK. This like really small, you know, like biotech thing. There's like super, super risky things, right? Like super exponential age things, maybe even AI things that might be in there, or biotech, whatever. Okay, so you can even see, right, the Russell 2000 down here is composed of smaller and more volatile stocks than the large cap indexes, okay? So that's basically international. It's just basically the risky stuff. Now, this is what we really need. We're like, okay, if you guys can't lag, something's going on. It means basically like everything else is kind of having like its strong complacency rally. We were not able to convince the rest of the market to be boosted up by these speeds rallying up. You know what it would be like, friends? It's exactly like if we go back to Bitcoin's bear market when Bitcoin did a bounce. Okay, that's what's actually happening right now. Now, we're not in a bear market, but I'm just going to show you. Bitcoin back here, okay, you see this little green candle? Bitcoin was doing these little rallies, but altcoins were not moving. Okay, altcoins were not moving yet down here. And then there was worse to come, right? There was like another crash to come. So that was like another signal. Oh my gosh, the SPY's moving up, but the altcoins still, like no one's brave enough to basically buy them. Okay, now This, what I'm going to show you, will blow your mind. Now, obviously, everybody in crypto says, well, it's a 4-year cycle, 4-year halvening. Okay, but this is the crazy part, friends. You know, the 4-year cycle lines up with the 4-year liquidity cycle. See, I never knew this back when I was in traditional markets. I did not know there's an actual 4-year liquidity cycle where all the world banks, central banks, they do this expansion, printing money, and then it contracts, which is what we had. And it's magically lining up with the Bitcoin 4-year halvening. This is crazy. That's like, because stocks are moving up, and it's dragging up Bitcoin around the Bitcoin halvening. It's spooky. Like, did Satoshi know this? Is it chance? Right? And it's nuts, right? It's nuts. So this is the craziest part. This is Bitcoin early days. Okay, this is literally Bitcoin 2009, 2010. Look at this crazy part. Bitcoin enters a giant mammoth run. Look when Bitcoin breaks the all-time high. See this part here? It breaks its all-time high in this first cycle when the Russell and the Dow Jones were breaking their all-time high. So we had an expansion stock market rally. Remember, this is GFC. This is GFC back here, okay? So we have GFC, and we have an expansion of the rally. So this is it. Basically, there's new highs everywhere. Is there new highs in every single world market? Now, Ray Dalio, friends, this is the crazy part. Ray Dalio, one of the greatest hedge fund managers of all time, worth like, 70, 80 billion, Bridgewater Capital, whatever it's called. So he believes, made video this for you. He's already shown that, well, the stock market's not actually in bubble territory. It's high, it's frothy, but it's not bubble. And it's like bubble begins at 80 plus out of 100. We're like 72. And, in stock market, friends, the stock market can have its like final bubble run that lasts like a year. That's all we need in crypto. Well, you only need like 3 months really in crypto, not even. So imagine we haven't gotten to bubble territory, and then the bubble territory has like a year of the weakest of weak hands in the economy entering in, which it could just mean that this whole 4-year cycle plays out, which I pray that happens, man. I really, really pray. If that'll be easy mode for us. If Bitcoin hits 150 to 200K, it's the easiest thing of all time, right? you basically, not only have I killed it, I've killed it for your grandkids pretty much, okay? Generational wealth. Now, this picture was mind-blowing, right? Because back then, when Bitcoin's not meant to be correlated or anything, it's moving up with the expansion of stuff. Now, I'm telling you, I've seen spooky stuff in markets like this. Is it correlation or is it causation? You just got to accept it for what it is, okay? Trust me, you got to accept it for what it is. These things happen, okay? Now, here's the thing. Mind-blowing pick, right, that we just saw. They break at the same time as the Russell and the Dow Jones. Crazy to think that the stock market was a true leader back in the early Bitcoin days. What about the 4-year halvening and all these things? That's crazy, right? Look, friends, here's the thing. What you and I want is we want crypto to trade like money. And what does that mean? We want, whenever bad stuff happens in the world, we want us to be not that volatile. And then when they print money, or when the stock market goes down, we want Bitcoin to rally every time. We want Bitcoin, if it drops, because we want the stock market to be like literally a money. We want Bitcoin to be treated as a money, as in like, oh, well, you're going to print more money now. You're weaker. Your economy's weaker. You're weaker. We're stronger. It's not like that though. Actually, we trade like technology. We trade like we're all liquidity linked, and we are the same thing. Now, maybe one day when the volatility is gone, we trade like money. That's like the end game. Could be like literally 20 years from now. But if you trade like money, it'd be like basically there's no opportunity. It means everybody's in. Because it means they're rotating between stocks and bonds, but now they have a Bitcoin component. We don't want that, actually. I mean, you want that in 20 years. You got $100 million by that point, right? Because basically you win the game. But the Russell, friends, very interesting because Russell is doing this WankOff pattern. You see this WankOff pattern? It's it right here. Remember, the WankOff pattern is basically they go down. It does this like, break the low, bang, bang, bang. Everybody's calling for a session. And then we have this top pop up here. That's that green candle's where we are now. That's actually that's the scariest, best thing ever. It's like, wait a minute. You're the last thing to go. So if the Russell can break that high and enter, trust me, it's like, oh, wow, there is no recession. You guys all got it wrong. You literally all got it wrong. But you don't know with these friends. I mean, you can say the economy is doing well, and then an exogenous shock comes out, like a planned, pre-programmed exogenous shock that does something. You never know, man. I don't know. China invades Taiwan. Russia does something. I don't know, man. It's priced into the yield curve. That's the craziest part. So even though we're looking at all these, now here comes like the reality of the situation, man. The reality of the situation is the bug eaters have priced in the deepest yield curve inversion of all freaking time. Okay, literally in history. So effectively, you now have the biggest discrepancy where this is, you know what the biggest inversion means? It means all the data and everybody legit and outsiders like me and you, baby dolls in the friendship cult, all of us are saying every time in history, this is fine. Everything's going sweet. All of us are saying that. The insider, bug eater, cockroach, scum, guts people, the reptilians who aren't even people, not even humans, they are saying something bad's coming. All of them. Okay, so the insiders say something bad's coming. Every single person say, but the data says everything's good. That's what the deepest yield curve inversion in freaking history says. You now have the biggest discrepancy between insiders and outsiders. You want to know what happened here, friends? Look at this. This was crazy, yeah. This inversion happened. This was the zombie virus. There were insiders who knew about the zombie virus in August of 2019, before mainstream China knew. And they made billions and trillions of dollars. They basically bought up the long end bonds. If I want to show you this date, man, you don't believe me? Look at this. They were buying it up in freaking December 2018, August 2019 here. So it's, yeah, man, look, man, I'm not gonna name the family's name. You know their name. They got a patent on the zombie virus vaccine. Okay, they literally got a patent on it before. And I thought it was FUD. No, it's actually real. Yeah, that's weird. A world zombie virus, you had the patent and you actually got it, I think it was in 2017 or 2013, so literally years before. Okay, that is not suspicious at all. And then you see this thing in the yield curve. So do you remember, friends, I explained to you, one of my favorite videos I made for you guys is I showed, like, I figured it out pretty much. The outsiders, friends, it's not a house and all the insiders are in there and me and you are outside. It's not like that. It's more like bubbles, right? Where there's layers of how this thing is, like a cake, right? Like an onion. You're peeling back the onion. You and I, we're outside in the kitchen. But the onion has multiple layers. And so the bug eaters tell people who are like, 25% reptilian. And then they tell people who are like 10% the reptilian. And they tell people who are just like psychopaths. And then they tell people who are like half psychopath, half human. And then they tell the half human, you know what I mean? Then eventually moves out to us. So there's a scale of scum, a scale of insider reptilians, all right? I've said it a lot here, but that's basically how it is. The insiders, they do their thing. And then it basically goes out and out and out and out. And by the time general public knows anything, it's basically too late. It's like, it's gone exponential if you look at like the track of how many people know these things. And that's basically how information travels. Does that make sense? There's a curve of information. Like one person knows, and then it spreads to 2, and then 4, and then 8, 12. You know what I mean? Just going exponential, the amount of people. And then maybe by the time, say, 100,000 people know of something, that's when it's starting to hit mainstream media. All right. But if you're in the first like 1,000 people knowing, you're front running them. But that's still like so tiny. 1,000 compared to 100,000, then compared to like 4 or 5 billion of all of us knowing. So in this chart here, that's what I've shown you. This chart is a Russell 2000. And fortunately, it is that WankOff pattern, but it's missing. That's the missing final piece, friends. We need the Russell to go break this all-time. We actually need it to crack up, okay? So here I postulate, right? Does the Russell break its all-time high and give us the elusive stock market expansion rally we need? Or does it need to act like a heavy hoe, ultimately remaining as a key indicator as to why crypto keeps stalling out? So effectively, when you're looking at this, you're like, okay, we're just going to watch closely because it's not about being right, friends. It's about making money. So we're still turbo long altcoins, even if there is a crash and a dip, whatever, because like there's not enough euphoria for it to be 4-year cycle concerning. Maybe it's like a couple of months reset, you know what I mean? But nothing like, oh, we've actually got to pack shop up. There's going to be like a crypto nuclear extinction winter after these people get rinsed out. But they're not in yet, those people we're talking about. So that's why when we look at these, friends, remember we had this happening, right? See this move? This was a stock market expansion rally. Literally at the same time Bitcoin was breaking its all-time high, we had the stock market expansion. But here we didn't. We had the complacency rally in stocks. It was not an expansion rally. We got punished with the zombie virus. Then we had the expansion rally. Okay, that's when they did the mega printing, and that's exactly what happened. So we're waiting to see what happens today, right? Is this top zone of Bitcoin, right? Is the 6 green monthly candles, right? Did they mean something or didn't they? That's just basically what we're coming to see. Just like it's tough, friends, because the last time this happened was 2020. Like it's basically when the market, it says, well, if you rally too fast, too quick, you get punished, baby doll. You get punished. However, like, you just got to think we're around the halvening now. How much are you allowed to rally around the halvening? That's something we just got to contemplate ourselves. So let's think though. If the Russell goes and breaks the high, wow, that's going to be crazy. Okay, but then imagine we do have an exogenous world shock, and then freaking the insider bug eaters were right. Maybe the US yield curve was right. That'd be crazy. That'd be sad. It's like, wow, the system really is rigged. You guys knew something was coming. That's nuts. Okay. At the end of the day, though, no matter how bad it gets, you know they got to print money. So all paths, all signs say, oh well, basically you got to buy altcoins until everybody believes you got to buy altcoins and everyone's in, and then at that point we've got to reassess. I want to know what you think. Make sure you like, subscribe, bell button. I'll catch you soon.